Hello, welcome to another episode of our DIY series. Today we'll be looking at your auxiliary gear system. I am in the Mitsubishi Pajero Sport, and it comes with an auxiliary drive mode. Basically, this car is a 4x4, but it's a part-time 4x4 drivetrain rather, which means you have the option of switching between a two-wheel drive and a four-wheel drive. So how do you know this car has an auxiliary gear system? Let's look at this knob. You can see this alphabet written on this knob. We have 2H, 4H, 4HLC, 4LC. That might look a little bit confusing. You'll be wondering, what do all these things mean? Now, if you are on a 2H mode, it means you're driving on a two-wheel drive. As when you're driving on a regular road where the road is smooth, no potholes, no bumps, just a regular smooth road. You're advised to drive on a two-wheel drive or the 2H. What that simply means is too high. And if you drive on a two-wheel drive, you're saving more fuel. Your car burns fuel more economically as against the other drive modes. Now, for the other drive modes, they have their purposes as well. Now, if you get into a very rough terrain, more like an off-road terrain, now you want to drive on the four-wheel drive mode or the 4H mode. What you simply need to do is to switch your knob to the 4H mode, and you see the 4H indicator flashing on your dashboard, telling you that you're engaged on the 4H mode, right? So on the 4H mode, like I said, it gives you that extra traction, extra road grip. That's the grip between your tire and the road. So it allows you to drive through difficult road terrains, right? Although it might not be as fuel economical as if you're driving on the 4H mode. Now for the other drive modes, which is the 4HLC and the 4LC, they are also four-wheel drive modes, but they are designed for extreme road conditions. I've switched to the 4HLC mode, so it's used when you're driving on low grip surfaces. You understand? I mean, surfaces that are very slippery, maybe on a mud slippery surface where you have very poor traction, right? So you can drive on the 4HLC mode. Now that gives you more traction, gives you more power to move the car off that difficult situation, but it doesn't give you as much speed as if you're driving on a two-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive, which is the 4H mode, right? So the last mode we'll look at is the 4LC, which simply means four-wheel drive, low torque, lock central differential, although you might get confused with the technical terminologies. Now, to drive on a 4H mode, you just need to press down this knob, you push it down, then you are engaged. As you can see on the multi-information display, the 4LC mode is flashing, which means we've engaged in our 4LC mode. Now, the 4LC mode is good if you're going down a steep situation. It's also for a muddy, snow, slippery off-road condition that is a bit more worse than if you're driving on a 4HLC mode. So it gives you extra traction, extra torque to move your vehicle off that situation. So as you can see, so let's have an overview of the system again. So like I said, the 2H mode is a two-wheel drive, which is a regular driving mode, regular driving surfaces, no potholes, nothing. Now the 4H is for off-road conditions, right? Low grip surfaces. Then the 4HLC mode gives you more traction. It's also off-road, but maybe the road condition is a little bit worse than when you're driving on the 4H mode. And the 4LC mode gives you better traction. You're going downhill, going down a steep situation. You want to engage your 4LC mode. So that brings a wrap to how to use your auxiliary gear system. There's another thing again that I wanted to show us. We have these two buttons just above the auxiliary gear knob. We have this icon that looks like a car descending, and it has sort of like a timer around it. They also have this icon that looks like the car is driving through water. Now what these two icons do is, the first one is what we call the HDC. It's called the hill descent control. Now with the hill descent control, when you activate the hill descent control, you can see the icon come on the dashboard. You can see that green icon just as you have here. It's green, the car is descending with a timer around it. Now what that does is, if you're going down a hilly situation or a downhill, and you activate this, it maintains that steady speed for you and holds the brakes for you without you necessarily without you being bothered about holding the brake. So what you're just concerned about is steering the car left, right. So it does that brake hold function for you. So it brings your concentration solely on just steering and not braking the car. You understand? So that's for the HDC, what we call the hill descent control. So we'll look at the final button, which is the off-road mode. Now the off-road mode is only available on the 4HLC and the 4LC auxiliary mode, which means you can't activate the off-road mode if you're on two-wheel drive, which is 2H, or the regular four-wheel drive, which is 4H. Now when you use the off-road mode, it allows you to select the different road condition. Mud, you can toggle between mud, snow, rocky situation. And for the rocky situation, it's only available if you're on the 4HLC mode. And then the other modes are available on the 4LC mode. So let me show you how to activate that. First, your leg is on the brake. You can put your car on the neutral position. Make sure your car is on neutral. Then you can push to any of these modes. Then you can toggle between, now we're on gravel, we're on mud and snow, we're on sand. Gravel, mud and snow, and sand. So when you press this off-road button, what it does is that it adjusts the engine outputs, adjusts the brake setting, and also the transmission setting as well. So it gives you that optimum control of your car on these road conditions. So if you select on mode, it gives you the kind of traction, the kind of power you need to drive on a sandy situation. If you select the gravel situation, the gravel mode, it gives you the settings adjust itself to give you that optimum traction that is necessary to drive on a gravel mode, on a gravel road. Same thing with mud and snow. So let me just put it back to our park condition and back to our two-wheel drive. And now that you know what these modes are for, please take full advantage of these drive modes so you can get the best out of your Pajero Sports. Now this brings us to the end of the episode on our auxiliary drive system. Please do like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye for now.
Drive your ambition. Mitsubishi Motors.